Hello, we are spending the next 2 hours together decluttering basically every single room in my house. And if you need some motivation to get something done, now is your chance because we are really locking in. But if you've seen the series already, then you might not want to watch this. So that's fine. It's just the same thing. But if you're new, I hope you get enough motivation to get whatever you've been putting off done. But let's get into it. I knew straight away with this declutter, I was just going to have to tackle it head on by pulling every single thing out, which seemed like quite a daunting task because I knew how much loose stuff was in there and how much just I had no idea where to put and how little organization I truly had, even though I've done this multiple times over the last few years. And I feel like with each birthday and Christmas, and then when I do my declutters, at the start of each year, things change and storage needs change as well. And what worked for me previously doesn't always work now. And so with this one, I was like, everything's got to come out. It's all just got to leave. I've got to start at square one. But if you have any suggestions, let me know because I am limited on space and ideas. As you can see, I have to shove a tub inside the cupboard, which, by the way, she's stuck. I don't know how we're going to get her out when we leave this place, but for now, that's not my problem. Is every last bit of toy up here on the bed. I did originally have it up here, but I can already feel the burnout and we haven't even started yet. So I decided no, do my thumbnail, bring everything down here off of it from there because I can feel that I'm not going to get through all of this today. And my son, by the time my son goes to bed, I just don't want to be pulling toys off of there. So yes, enjoy this last amount. I mean, we still got that other chest of drawers in my bedroom that we've got to go through, but it's just way too much. I found these in the back of the cupboard. I used them when I was postpartum. I haven't been postpartum in over 3 years, okay? So we're working with, I think I'm just going to grab the basket, sit my booty right there in that little hole, and just work my way out. Everything I'm keeping, I'll make another pile, and everything I'm donating, throwing out, giving away, whatever, is going there. But yes, I could already tell that the burnout was gonna hit real quick. I think I got 10 minutes into this project and thought, oh no, this is overwhelming. And I was trying to work out what it is because sometimes going into other declutters in my house, it's not that big of a problem. But I think it's when I have a lot of little tiny things that just don't have the home, like I was saying previously. And my kids have a ton of toys that have so many little bits and pieces. My son's special interest is anything construction, mechanical, anything like that basically. So, that comes with lots of little pieces. So I was in for a long haul basically. It was an uphill battle and my little pile seemed to be taking forever to get through. It was 5 minutes on my phone, 2 minutes on this task, 5 minutes on my phone, so on and so forth. So that's probably why it took extra amount of time. But when it comes to the actual organization of all of this hoo-ha, I got most of my stuff originally from IKEA. It was the cream tubs. I think they're a couple dollars each, which is why I initially went with it. I was the cheapest option possible, please. And then I've just gone through either Bunnings for the clear ones and IKEA, I think, also for their clear ones. I think they're $3, maybe $4 each. I don't know if there's a difference between the clear and the cream ones, but I've personally found that I like the clear ones more just because I tend to not put everything back in the right spot. So even though I like to label it, if it was in the cream one, I'd have to spend all this time opening it up and then just to find out that that thing wasn't actually in there. So the clear one works out well for me, especially since I do toy rotations frequently, which is why we have this sort of shelving set up and not all the toys out at once. My sister-in-law has all the toys out and I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks like so much fun. It's kind of like Toys R Us. The kids absolutely love it, but it is a lot. We just don't have the kind of space to have all of it out. Plus, I think it would frustrate me a lot just having to walk through a sea of toys, whereas they've got a dedicated playroom. And so I think she's just I can shut the door and leave it. She doesn't have to think about it. But unfortunately for me, I have to keep things organized here. So we do the toy rotation Montessori method and it works out really well for us. So something I really wanted to tackle was this bookshelf. It had been overflowing and falling apart for so long, and I just close my eyes, pretend it doesn't exist. We had such an array of books in here that I just didn't know where to start. We had like baby books from like literally the baby bag you get when you give birth to picture books with lots of sentences in it, and my son is advancing his reading skills and is enjoying reading them. So I had no idea what I wanted to keep, what I needed to get rid of, and probably the biggest dilemma, where to get rid of it, because I feel like I said in the previous video that Vinnie's, Salvos, all the op shops, thrift stores, whatever, absolutely overloaded with books, right? Like they sell them off so cheap, $1, $2, because they have so many. So I didn't want to just go and donate more to them or feel like maybe they get thrown out, because I definitely do see them with a big tip out the back and just throwing out a lot of stuff. So I did want them to go to a good home, and I gave them to some local daycares and to some friends, and someone did suggest on the original video that I give it to family shelters. It is a little bit hard to do that here in Australia just because family shelters are, you can't really walk in and donate stuff for safety reasons, so doing that is a little bit more difficult, but obviously I would love to. And I did see that there's a women's shelter not far, so maybe I'll send them an email and see if I can donate some stuff that way, because I do have a few things in my garage that would be lovely to pass on to someone who needs it a lot more than me. And so this is me just sort of finishing up in this particular space. I managed to put everything into the containers. Well, most of it. There was a few loose things that I just knew won't fit in a container or just too awkward to try and fit in the containers, since this is really all we can work with in this particular space. But in my bedroom, we have this chest of drawers that I basically got free off Facebook Marketplace because I was overloaded with toys, and I probably should have just decluttered harder, honestly, the first time around. But I love to have lots of stuff to be able to rotate through and just hopefully not get my kids too bored or understimulated. So that's why I have a lot of these little like small world play toys. That's my baby. I miss him so much. I have a lot of small world things just to help build the imagination and let the imagination go wild, basically. I had actually intended to, I was showing you this because I love it for storage. I am the worst for losing SD cards, micro SD cards, anything, little fiddly bits like that for my cameras and stuff. So that's a little case from Officeworks. It was like $5. The best thing I've ever bought. Yeah, anyway, I had actually initially planned to like store all of the things in little baskets like this one I have right here. And then I started it. I got like 2 or 3 of them. And then I just never did it. I was like, it just doesn't matter that much. Like, my kids go through the drawer all the time, taking a couple of pieces out here and there to play with, and I ended up with a mess anyway, so I just don't care. I've officially reached that point in my life where things like this just don't bother me. Some places I will absolutely micro-organize, this not so much. But I was able to be quite cutthroat in this part of the declutter because I just knew I needed to get some space back in these drawers. I had a lot of things that we'd never used throughout the rotations and a lot of things my kids had just grown out of, and so I was so glad to get rid of it. I needed the space for other things. We store bags and random bigger things in the bottom drawer, and we have so many puzzles. Like, this was an entire drawer basically from top to bottom full of puzzles, and I would put 1, maybe 2 out each time I rotated. So there was no need for this many, but we said sayonara to those babies, and I was pretty happy with the end result of it all. I don't think I've ever done something this crazy before, but I was like, I'm just ready to move on. Like, we don't need as many toys as we do. So we have ended up with 2 overflowing baskets. Most of this is toys. There's a little bit of rubbish in there. But yeah, all of this is either going to be donated or given to friends or whatever. Down here is the stuff we decluttered from my chest of drawers, and that's just all going to be thrown out because it's puzzles with missing pieces and I can't give it away. So anyway, I'm so glad. Like, look at this insane amount of stuff. I cannot believe it. I'm going to show you a quick overview of the cupboard because it looks fantastic. Okay, I know you're probably thinking, Victoria, it looks exactly the same, but to me, it's not, darling. Every single thing they own for toys is in here. Like it fits in here besides one drawer. It's like 1.5 drawers in the other room, which I just need to, I don't know, work out how I'm going to store it so I can put it in here. But yeah, oh my god, like it's all here and it's so much easier mentally on me. And I will see you in the next declutter. Another day of my marathon clean outs. My son's closet is just something I've been avoiding, okay? It's been a mess, alright? I've already done all the toys and whatnot, but now we're up to the clothes because they are swapping to the next size up, which means I have one giant bag, which I definitely didn't spend any money at this place, okay, to get a giant bag. Anyway, so I've got all of this that I need to sort out, the stuff in the bottom, and you probably saw in like my messy video that I have all the drawers to fix and to fill up properly, so we're going to work on that. Let's get to it because I've got to go through all the stuff we've thrifted. It'll take me a while. I am so grateful to have a ton of nephews. I am blessed because all of my son's stuff, I literally just hand big bags over to them. Oops, you almost fell over there, darling. You okay? Sit down if you need to. Yeah, I just hand these big bags over to them and I say, take what you want, donate whatever you don't want. So they use most of his wardrobe, which is fantastic. And whatever they do with the other bits, I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. Once it's out of my house, I don't ever want to see it again. Unfortunately, when it comes to my daughter, I don't have a single person to pass on these clothes. Everyone else's daughters are either older than mine or the same age and fit the exact same size. So it's pretty much useless to me. So it's always a struggle trying to get rid of that stuff until I find someone that tells me they've got a kid that's younger than mine. I'm like, please, do you want clothes? Take them. I don't need them.
Headlights on the highway. If you only knew, being back here always makes me think of you. When the world is sleeping, do you think of me? With the road ahead's coming back again, coming back to me. I remember the long drives, the late nights in your car. I remember it all. Windows down, empty streets, you were all...
When I tell you I've got the landlord of landlord specials with this wardrobe, I'm really not joking, okay? So this back wall is like a false wall, a fake wall. I did know, but I just didn't realize how much space they had taken off to build this wardrobe. Okay, if you just take a moment. Okay, so I do understand what this looks like, but just bear with me for a minute, okay? Right? Like that. Anyway, yeah, it's about that far. Wardrobe off to put in this really crappy wardrobe, which is wonderful. You know, sometimes I question people's design choices, like what were they thinking, losing all that space? I don't know what it looks like behind there, and I'm not sure why they did it. I have no idea, and I probably will never know why they've made that choice. I just know that there's a few places in the house where they just could have probably put in a little bit more money for a nicer carpenter or a nicer builder or whatever and gotten a better result. But it is what it is, and I'm just trying to fix things as I go along so that, you know, they're a bit nicer for us, even though like it's not our home and it can be seen as less money. On me it's not, because, you know, it's something visually appealing or something that makes our life a lot easier, and it is worth losing a little bit of money on something you won't be able to keep or get reimbursed for. So to me it's worth it, and so getting these drawers fixed are a must, and I could part with the $8, which is such an easy fix, by the way, if you remember what size the drawers actually are. We've moved on to the fun part of this video, which is just seeing everything I've thrifted over the last year or 2 years, and I had the wonderful job of hauling it all in from the garage from these giant bags, which get way too heavy. Okay, so the first part that we're working on is basically just a whole lot of loose stuff that I had just recently thrifted, probably in the last 5 or 6 months. Oh my god, my heart's racing. I just like ripped all of that out of the bag. So we're just sorting out what is too big and what is the stuff that I need, and then we'll move on to the stuff that actually fits them.
Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. I don't wanna let you down. Time moves fast when I'm with you. Went from lonely to falling in love, watching it all unfold. Yeah, I'm not scared of commitment. I'm just scared of doing something wrong. I don't wanna see you go. 'Cause baby, I got problems, problems in me. Sometimes it gets hard for me to tell you how I feel. I'm afraid to show you what's underneath. 'Cause I don't wanna let you down. Got a lot of demons up in my brain. Got a lot of bad thoughts giving me pain. I'm afraid to show you what's underneath. 'Cause I don't wanna let you down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. I don't wanna let you down. Early mornings in your bedroom, waking up with you by my side, looking so beautiful. Yeah, I got high when I met you. Got me way up in the clouds, and I don't wanna go there. 'Cause baby, I got problems, problems in me. Sometimes it gets hard for me to tell you how I feel. I'm afraid to show you what's underneath. 'Cause I don't wanna let you down. Got a lot of demons up in my brain. Got a lot of bad thoughts giving me pain. I'm afraid to show you what's underneath. 'Cause I don't wanna let you down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. I don't wanna let you down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. Let you down, let you down, let you down, down, down. I don't wanna let you down. 'Cause baby, I got problems, problems in me. Sometimes it gets hard for me to tell you how I feel. I'm afraid to show you what's underneath. 'Cause I don't wanna let you down. Got a lot of demons up in my brain. Got a lot of bad thoughts giving me pain. I'm afraid to show you what's underneath. 'Cause I don't wanna let you down.
Welcome to my son's new wardrobe. I'm so excited because look at all the cutie pieces we have. Much stuff. I think we might have hit the right amount for what we need for school. Maybe we need a few more long sleeve stuff, and maybe another pack of maybe like a 3-pack of shirts. But otherwise I think we've actually nailed it. I hope. So anyway, I do usually have like a list to keep track of what I'm buying. So I don't know how far off, because sometimes I miss putting some on. So I don't know how far off I am, but I will have a look at that in a minute. But have a look. Take a guess at how much you think I spent, because it's more than I thought it would be, but actually a lot less than if I bought it in store, as always. So I do enjoy thrifting all the clothes. I feel like I'm saving the environment. I feel like I'm saving my coin, everything. But this is his long pants. He has so many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pairs. That's over a week. That's over a week's worth of stuff. So I think we've done pretty well for it. But look at all this stuff. Like, we've got Indie Kids, DKNY. We've got, these are mostly Target ones, I think. Got some Cotton On in here and some Next. We've got a lot of nicer stuff in here. We've got some Country Road. We've got a few Target. But yeah, this is his jumpers. Update. He doesn't need any more jumpers, thank God, because this is a lot. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. He has 9. So that'll do him. And yeah, I'm really happy with myself because it feels like a lot of effort goes into this, and then like I don't even know if it's worth it, but it's alright, it's not bad. Drum roll, $180 for all of this. I feel like it got more expensive, but some of these pieces were like $10 each because they were really nice ones. $180 for all of this. He does have a couple other pairs of shoes, so let's just say $200 for an entire wardrobe. I feel like that's not too bad. Okay, so this is the madness that is my daughter's new lot of clothes. This is insane, but she still is in daycare a couple days a week, so she does need like a high rotation of stuff. So here we go. We've got some gorgeous pants. These are the long pants. We've got some matching tiny trove. We've got gander. Take gander. Anyway, so we've got some nice long pants here, some swimsuits, a ton of pajamas. I forgot I bought so many for her, and then she got gifted heaps, like so many pairs at Christmas time from family. So pajamas are stocked up. I don't know if you can see, but this sort of line here is long sleeve tops. That should be plenty. I don't know. That might not be enough. We'll see. Definitely don't need any more short sleeve tops. We have like so many. I mean, we've got some Jamie K in there. We've got some nice Target ones. This is my favorite one. This gem look one, so cute. Just some H&M in here, and then just like a few other random and tons of tops. This girl is, she has so many because she loves to change so much. This is like the shorts section. She's only got this one skirt at the thrift store, but this is a cute one. It's just a random, it says it's size 7, but it fits her now. So I feel like this could fit maybe a few sizes. We've got another top in here, a random one. So many. But yeah, shorts. So many cute ones. These are all her jumpers. She doesn't have many, which I might need to like stock up a bit more on them, just because this is definitely not enough for daycare, and also they're not like a lot of thick ones. Not put enough effort into that. And then down here, this pile, we've got a dress, a romper. We got a lot of rompers, okay? Mama. I don't know why I did this to myself. But yeah, rompers galore here. Look at this, that's a cute one. Pink one. We got this one that I think used to be Zayden's. This is a long sleeve. I think it's a dress. I think. Another romper. Why did I do this? And then a green dress. So one last look, and I will tell you at the end how much all of this was. This is insane. So for all of that stuff that you saw, $220, which is insane that I got so much stuff. Now I've just got the fun task of sitting here and pulling all of these off, but I got everything washed and put away. There's a lot in here now. I think I have picked up a couple more pieces since I filmed the original part of this video. So we're pretty even with what we need. So we're pretty set with just about everything. We do have some jackets down here, but it's starting to get cold, so she's been using it. And then down here we just have her long pants. Again, I picked up a couple. Like, these are so cute, from Big W, and this one. And we got shorts up the back, but I think we're set for the moment. This is your sign to try and thrift some clothes. There's so much kids clothes around, it's so easy. Okay, this is my son's closet. It's really hard to show you because I don't know, this cupboard, I think I talked about it earlier, they put the wrong size doors on here, so it's really hard to like actually get in here and like get what you need. So anyway, most of this, I'd say 90% of it is thrifted. I have picked up, again, just like my daughter, I have picked up a couple more pieces. Some from the shop, some from Vinnie, Salvos, whatever. Just when I needed it. I thought I had it all down. Like, I thought we were good. Did I not? Oh my goodness. Hold on. Okay, let's try that again. Wow, so organized. Anyway, I did notice, because we recently just had some school holidays, that there wasn't really enough shirts. Like, pants, it's all right, but shirts, like long sleeve shirts, I definitely didn't have enough, because I did like 1 or 2 loads throughout the 2 weeks because my husband was doing a lot of overtime and he's usually the one that does the lawn house. So ended up just being that there wasn't enough stuff. So I got a few more shirts just in case, a few more like long sleeve shirts and stuff. And these are all the shorts. There's a few more. I don't know where the rest of it is. It must still be in like the 3 baskets of laundry I'm pretending don't exist. Anyway, thank you for watching this clear out. I hope it inspires you to do your closet or get thrifting. And welcome to the fridge of horrors. We're a little bit shaky here. Anyway, this is pretty bad for me. There's not a lot of food that I really had to throw out. It's just a lot of stuff that we had, as you'll see later on, just thrown in there, and it really needed to be put into the Tupperware containers or thrown out, or just, you know, like a whole bag of groceries in there that I just didn't unpack, that kind of thing. And then of course this mess down the bottom, which just needed a wipe out. So we were getting straight into it. The hair had to come down. Sometimes I love it clipped up, but today was not that day. I couldn't handle it tugging at any part of my scalp. So anyway, we're jumping straight into it, and usually I just kind of go through section by section and work out whether something's just got to be cleaned, it's got to be thrown out, or sort of organized better. I do have some organizing stuff for the fridge, some of those clear acrylic containers and storage containers. Yes, my little science experiment going on in there. I do hate waste, so when things like that happen, it's like, oh, that's quite frustrating. But you know, you can't catch everything, right? I'm not Superwoman. I just can't keep on top of every single aspect of my life, so some things slip through. I talked about in the original video of this about how TikTok can set unrealistic expectations on things, and sort of why I started doing cleaning videos on my channel here was because I wanted more of like a real life, what's actually going on in people's homes versus like the pristine, already clean talk. So I know a lot of people who live similar ways where things fall apart and things just don't get dealt with, or there's mess in places. So unless you have like no kids, or you know, you hardly work or that kind of thing, the home just does not stay clean. Like, you cannot cook your own food, keep your house, your car clean, run all the kids to all the different activities, so on and so forth, and still maintain a pristine home. Like, my kids wouldn't be able to play. They wouldn't be able to do activities. Like, you should see my dining table right now. It's covered in colouring in and craft stuff that he didn't want me to touch because he wanted to come back and do it. And so I'm not going to spend my time cleaning that up. I'd rather just have a messy table and him come back and enjoy his craft. So I guess that's my little rant, but I just wanted to say, you know, it's okay to have messy home from time to time and to have things that you just don't deal with. It's everyday life, and I just don't subscribe to the idea that I have to have a showroom house every single day of my life. It's not worth it. I love spending time doing other things. So this is me scrubbing the main glass from the fridge. It's always a bit nerve-wracking when I do this because I'm like, don't crack, don't crack, don't crack. It's terrifying, right? I'm sure I can replace it. It's just not something I want to do. Anyway, I have often had a few things leak throughout the fridge, and it's sort of gotten between the glass and the plastic of these drawers that you're seeing right now, and I haven't cleaned it because I didn't really know you could take that part out. Like, I've sort of wiped the top of it and then the bottom from inside the drawer, but I've never really taken it out. And then when I realized I could, I was like, my god, the bacteria factory going on in here. Horrific. So anyway, when it does need a good scrub, it's like the most satisfying thing. And I do love to use my Dyson. If you just caught that going on, I put her through her paces. If she's gonna cost between $800 and $1,000, honey, you're gonna work, okay? You'll be used in places most people don't use their vacuum. So anyway, it makes life so much easier than trying to have to like get a microfiber and wipe it all out, then rinse it and keep doing the same thing over and over again for all the little crumbs and chunks and stuff, which is just delightful. I then pulled out this drawer that you just saw. We don't keep a lot of liquids in here, so it's always a mystery how things got so gross down here. Like, this looks like crusted on milk. The milk doesn't even go anywhere near this, so I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, hun, as to what that is and how it gets all the way under there. I did do this possibly last year. I think I filmed it in like a YouTube short and it was like caked on, and so I tried to be better about it. So this is actually good compared to the previous one, even though I know that doesn't sound great. Anyway, so glad we got all the drawers done and everything like that, because I am onto the restocking part of this video, which is just nice once I've cleaned it all out. And it's hard work, okay, to get that like super clean. But it is nice for when I actually put the food back in and it looks spotless. But I washed the grapes. I don't do this every single time, depends how much energy I have. But yeah, I use just this little OXO. Is that the right brand? Salad spinner, that's what it's called. I also got the drawer and the meat back into the drawer just because, you know, we're not looking for salmonella over here. And then these are the little acrylic containers that I have. I have been a little bit influenced by TikTok for some of these pieces. These stackable containers I use for ham and cheese, and I think you can get it at Kmart now. Kmart eventually gets the fun stuff, but yeah, the acrylic containers, the drawers, they're also from Kmart. You can't fit a lot in here. As you can see, I tried getting my apples in here. Doesn't work. I tried oranges and lemons and what else? Anything round just doesn't quite fit very many in there. So it does work great for vegetables, like little vegetables. And you can see me putting in tomatoes, beans, and you can see that it works perfectly. It does work a lot better than the baskets I had in there. I had those in for years and I love them. Nothing ever happened to them. I just found that I wanted to be able to see my stuff a bit more. Often I'd forget that I had a bit of fruit or vegetable in the back of the baskets and I couldn't see them if they were on the top shelf, so they were left to fend for themselves.
It's electric when you kiss me. Never felt this way before. We're magnetic, wanna stay here, closer than close. Up in the clouds, I can see the whole world now. Breathtaking world, can't believe my eyes. Up in the sky, I can see the whole world tonight. 'Cause you make me feel like I wanna get lost in your paradise. You make me believe it's real. Just high up above from the ground, but closer to heaven. I won't fight it, can't deny it. I'm under your spell. Just like magic, won't forget this for the rest of my life. Up in the clouds, I can see the whole world now. Breathtaking world, can't believe my eyes. Up in the sky, I can see the whole world tonight. 'Cause you make me feel.
Welcome to the horrific mess we like to call the freezer. As you saw, it was pretty bad. Sometimes I feel like I'm really on top of keeping the freezer, and then sometimes it's just like it disappears. It's like a time portal to things I've forgotten about. As you can see, yeah, there was a lot that has just fallen out and just like ended up as crumbs on the bottom of the basket. And I just knew I had to like take every single thing out, deep clean it, and put stuff back, because my husband likes to order stuff online, like meats, and often it's like bulk meats as well. Like we're talking $3 3, 4, 5 kilos of meat at a time. So it was really in dire need of a refresh. As you can see, there was a lot stuck on the bottom, and when we have this ice cube situation, it gets a little gross and things get stuck in there, and it's just not somewhere you want to go and get ice cubes for your drink. So anyway, I tried with my electric brush to get all this goopy stuff out. It was not working. I needed to get in there and scrub, and I just used my microfiber cloth, and I think I did end up using a little bit of gumption just for a bit of friction because things just were not coming off. And honestly, I do love a little bit of gumption. It makes things so much easier. Anyway, so this is the bottom basket, and as you can see, chicken nugget crumbs everywhere. I did used to have these like $3 Kmart tubs. They're just like the flat ones, and I would put like the chips and the nuggets and fish, anything kind of loose in that, and it really worked well because I wasn't having the crumbs everywhere, and I wasn't having like frozen vegetables. You know, peas, they'd be trying to escape from everything and just drying up and looking disgusting. So I did do well with that until they started breaking apart. I mean, they were only like $3 to start with, but I don't know. If you have any other suggestions for me for that kind of storage, that would be great, because as you can see, this basket is slanted at the back, and so it's not easy to put a lot of storage containers in there because it's a bit of a weird shape. But while I was in here, and I thought, oh, I'm just gonna go even further and deep clean this freezer. Like, I mean deep clean. There were crumbs all over the base where the basket would sit on top of it, all down the sides of here, and it's quite a job. Like, pulling things out and trying to get in there and clean it is just a horrific nightmare. I don't know who designed freezers to be this difficult, but maybe one day we'll upgrade to something that's a little easier to clean. But while I was down here, I did clean the feet area of my fridge. She's often forgotten, and I mean often, like I never clean that thing. So when I did it, I was like, oh, she's sparkling. I've never seen it this clean. But then I had more of a nightmare because I had to spend so much time trying to get this thing to go back into the freezer, and it had accidentally popped out, and I didn't mean for it to come out, but I must have spent like 20 or 30 minutes working on this tiny little piece here that just would not pop back in. And I finally got the bar in after it took me, gosh, maybe half an hour, and I thought, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna crack it. Like, you know when too much is going on and you're stressed out and it's just not a good combination. So I just left the freezer stuff in there and like closed the freezer for a bit. And then I decided to come back, and I was like, no, I will do this myself. I'm not going to get anyone else involved. I can do this. I won't be beaten. I put the basket in, and of course, like everything else, it didn't want to cooperate. So I had to deal with that, and it just would not go in. And once I had put the stuff back in and tried to close the door, it just refused to close. So I left it. And then when my husband got home, he looked at it for me and was like, you've put the basket in backwards. Like, I don't know how I did it, but it happened. And I was annoyed that he had noticed the second he saw it. But as the saying goes, sometimes it just takes a fresh set of eyes. So I went into this bathroom declutter thinking that these drawers were possibly the only things that I actually needed to work on, but it was soon made very apparent that it was not just this little bit that needed to be worked on, but in fact the entire thing. But as you can see, this drawer is just about exploding. The one below it looking the same, and then as I show you these cupboards, you're gonna realize, oh my god, why does she have so much stuff, considering she never changes her look? She doesn't do that much to herself. Who could own so much? Yes, I can. I am the product of a 2016, 2015, 2014 beauty influencer craze, okay? I still have excess makeup that I will never really need because of makeup collections and stuff like that. But anyway, I am watching Matt Haneke. I've been enjoying the whole like home renovation side of it. Anyway, back to my home. This drawer used to be even worse than this, if you could imagine that. Things used to be loose, and they all used to be covered in toothpaste. Yes, that is the life of kids. Things just get a little gross, so everything had to come out. The acrylic containers, I think, were just from Kmart. I think I got them on clearance. Kmart like changes out their stock regularly, so if you like something, get a bunch of them, because that's something I've realized. They don't keep their stuff around very long. So I got all of it out because I'd love to just clean it and then restock it and put it back. But as you can see, even though this looks filthy, I mean, it is a little bit dirty. There is also a liner. I don't know what year that is a product of. Is it the 60s, the 80s? Is it the early 2000s? We'll never know, but it's disgusting and I hate it. I wish whoever had done it hadn't done it, right? It's gross. That brown stuff, I've tried to scrub myself so many times. It's just glue, like hardened on and dirty glue. I have thought about removing the liner. It's definitely crossed my mind multiple times, but also like, how bad is the glue underneath the liner? How much glue did they use? So I've sort of just left it because I feel like this is the lesser of two evils, right? I could always put another liner on there, I guess, but I just don't care that much, I think. Anyway, these acrylic containers have been a godsend to me, honestly. I have loved having everything in it. It's really kept everything so clean and just like, okay, I know that I have hair ties. I know that I have bobby pins. I know that I have chapstick, and I'm not scrounging around my bathroom trying to find that stuff. So it has been really wonderful for that. And for like, I think $6 or $7 to do that. It's so great. And it doesn't have toothpaste covered all over it. So I feel like that's an even bigger win. I did try to add another acrylic container where those toothpaste is right now, but it was just too long by like the tiniest bit and I was a bit annoyed, but it is what it is. I can't change that. So we've moved on to the next drawer, and I have become a bit of a deodorant hoarder, and I needed to sort this out because I keep buying the cans when I see them half off. I'm like, oh, well, I always need another one. I don't want to be stinky. I need another one. Don't want to be stinky. And before I realized I had like 4 or 5 aerosol spray cans going at once, and I'm like, this needs to stop. Let's get this part organized so I actually know how much I have. Oh, this was some cream, like baby cream, that I had since my son was born. It was part of a baby gift bag, and I was like, I have not used this in however many years it's been. Let me put it on my leg right now and I'll be happy. Like, I can throw it out and I never have to see those things again, because if I haven't used it in this long, I'm really not going to use it. So it is what it is. No one's going to want like that little bottle of cream. Anyway, I gave this drawer once over and then I put everything back, but it seems that I didn't put in the clip where I actually organized it and put all the cans of deodorant in here so that I knew where they were. I just bought like acrylic containers, I think from Big W, and just kind of like line them up, and it's worked wonderfully. Like, it looks so much nicer and I know how much I have, so I'm not buying anymore, thank goodness. But down the bottom is just an amalgamation of everything. I have my Appel's Apothecary, which I absolutely love, and then just a few other random things like face masks and hairbrushes and stuff that I don't reach for down here. So I decided to make this space just for my hairstyling. So like the thing that I use to flatten my hair down, my hairbrush. Apparently I put the deodorant here, but like I told you, she got moved up, okay? She got prioritized. And then over here behind the cupboard doors, we just have the IKEA plastic containers. Or actually, these ones might have been Kmart. They have like knockoff products of whatever brand. I don't know who started it first, but they're basically the same thing. And I used to have like a wicker or rattan or whatever baskets in here. They went gross after a while. The moisture was just too much for it. I don't blame it. So then I swapped over to these plastic ones, and I just sort them out by like product. So as you can see, we have the world's biggest collection of bath bombs. I don't know why we have so many. It seems that my husband gets lured into Lush every time he walks past one, and the kids have so much fun with them, so it doesn't matter that much. But then we have like this stuff, which is supposed to be the hairstyling, hairspray, and that kind of thing. And so I just went and did that for each one, and they get a bit more random towards the end when I have less and less of the products. But you know what? I feel like I'm the worst person when it comes to body products. I buy so much, I get given so much, and then I just put it away and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll use it. Like, that's just too nice to use right now. Like, I'm too grotty for that or whatever. Let me use it when I've got something nice going on. I don't know. Why do I do that? But then I don't use it. So I need to make the effort this year, next year, to try and get through some of these products because they've been sitting there a while. And I don't want it to be like that baby lotion again, where it's been X amount of years and I haven't even touched it.
it in my bones, I can feel it in my veins. Hands in the sky, I can feel the winds of change. You live and you learn, and I hope I've seen enough to make something right and make up for what I've lost. I was down, but things are looking up. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. Things turn around, didn't ever think they could. I'm done with the bad, I need a little bit of good. Settled in the world, like everything is new. Stepped on a path that led me straight to you. I was down, but things are looking up. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should.
I am just using my trusty gumption here with a scrubbing brush. I tried not to worry too much about deep cleaning it because I know at some point someone's going to rip all of these out anyway. So I'm sort of wasting my effort, but I'm just trying to tidy it up, and then I just put the containers back. But we're moving on to the nasty car clean, and rightfully so, it is called that because as you can see, it is nasty, okay? It was not just one, but 2 cars that look this horrific. And sometimes I leave the mess for you, and sometimes it just accumulates to this if we've had a million things going on and I just have not had a chance to go and do it. At the moment, if you were to take a look at my car, it's actually not too bad. I am proud of myself. Yes, ma'am. But this is a rarity, okay? I am working on making sure the rubbish comes out regularly because that is quite gross. But when I do the car clean, I usually take a couple of bags, and it's either these paper ones that you get from the shops, or it's the actual Woolworths like green bags, but I use one for all the garbage and then I use one for the stuff that needs to go back into the house. If it makes it that far, I often just dump it in the garage, and then like a couple months later I'm like, where did this one thing go? And then when I find that bag again, I'm like, oh yeah, right, I never unpacked it. Anyway, I am working on this like middle glove compartment thing. It has been bothering me for some time because every time I'm in there I'm like, why, first of all, is there a light globe? why, second of all, is there money from all around the world in there? And then why is there all other crap but the things we actually need, like money from this country? Anyway, I just reused the dummy container that we had had for like probably 3, 4, 5 years in there, and just threw all the change in. It's so much better than it like being loose in there mixed with peso and American dollars and all that kind of thing. So that finished that little space off. And then we moved to the back here, which as you can see is diabolical. It was like a trail mix on the carpet. There's popcorn, there's M&Ms, I think there's Skittles in there. Who knows what else there is. Could have just packaged that up and saved it for later, honestly. But I decided that I would go in as best as I can with my hand and pick off a lot of the loose pieces of the popcorn, just because it gets stuck in the vacuum. And it's frustrating when it does, because it clogs that thing up and your girl does not have time to pick it out. So the best thing I can do is this. I probably should have just used a broom, honestly. That would have been smarter and less gross, but here we are. Anyway, if you do return to earn, which is like recycling your bottles for some extra cash, you'll know this mess probably. Anyway, I saved some bottles because we had a party for our kids, and then we seemed to just have like a lot of extra bottles, and I was like, oh, I'll do it. And then months went by and I was like, oh my gosh, this pile is getting big. Like, I don't want to just throw it out. So I did take it back, gosh, and it was like 70 or so cans, and I think I walked out with like maybe $8, and I was like, this is just not worth it. Like, good on the people who have the energy to go and do that, but for me it's just not worth it. I can't have those cans sitting around for that long and then waiting at the actual like depot or whatever the thing is called to have my turn at that thing. Some people have massive bags and I don't have time to wait for it, so it's not really for me. But anyway, here is some little nasties I found within the kids' car seats. I feel like I clean them up pretty well and get most of the gunk out, and then I take the actual covers off. I'm like, oh my word, we haven't had this in like 2 years. So you know, they've been freeloading in the car for a while. But if you ever find yourself like me and needing to just do like a full deep clean, I find going to like one of those local car wash places where you have to do it yourself fantastic, because you don't spend a whole lot of money. You just pay for the vacuum and then for the actual wash. But the vacuums are incredible. Dyson cannot compete. She's not even in the league. So I love these vacuums, and it comes out so nice. And then I feel like there's other people doing it there with you, so you like a little more motivation and to get it deep cleaned properly. So I prefer to go there, but for you, I filmed it here at my own home. We do pick up these little cleaners from either like Super Cheap Auto or Repco, or what's the other one? Sometimes Kmart. I do find a few like gimmicky fun things for cleaning at Kmart, but it's not always best dollar for value kind of thing, buying your cleaning stuff from there. But I did wipe everything down, and that makes the biggest difference when it comes to just like cleaning the car and like cleaning the car. I also had to get in these cup holders, girl. You know how annoying they are. You know, like I was wiping it down and I was like, oh, that's fine, that'll do. It looks good. And then I reviewed the footage just while I was standing there. I was like, oh no, now I've got to get in there and pull the actual little rubber bits out, because they have a lining in this car anyway where you can just pull it out and like scrub it, and it makes a big difference. When I was doing the end shot versus having like little crumbs still stuck in there and not having the crumbs. So glad I actually took 2 seconds effort to work on that. But you'll see me switching between the two sprays for the car. Look, I don't always get it right all the time. Sometimes I'm throwing the leather spray up the top on the doors and everywhere where it shouldn't be. And then sometimes I'm like swapping the leather seat for the multi-purpose cleaner, and it's like, oh my god, does it matter? Is it all the same products? But it does make such a shine on the leather seats, because they can get a little weary, a little old looking after some time, but this makes all the difference. I think unless you get your car professionally cleaned, there's only so much you can do. For example, these crumbs or whatever it is, sand most likely, down the sides of the chairs. I've tried a lot of things. I haven't tried a toothbrush yet. I think I might go ahead and do that at some point. Who knows when I'll actually do it. But it's almost impossible to get like every little crumb and gross thing out of the car. I just find that I don't have the right gadgets, and I don't have the space. Like I just can't get into all the little nooks and crannies and all that thing. I feel like I'd have to remove the seats entirely for me to be able to deep clean this car. She's getting on the old side, so it's been through a lot. 2 kids, basically being used as 2 cars, that kind of thing. But these are the rubber mats that I was talking about earlier, and as you can see, kind of gross, but I sprayed them and I think I scrubbed them with just the microfiber cloth, and they did really well. I was proud of that because the end shot looks a lot better, thank God. And then I just took the Dyson to the floor in here. I can't remember why I did it again. I think we had used it for like a week in between and it got pretty grotty. Like, it doesn't take long for the driver's side to get bad. But then we moved on down to my car. As you can see, it's a monstrosity. I'm so embarrassed that it got this bad, but I also knew I was gonna film this video again. So I was like, oh, like, how bad do we let it get? Because between my thrifting, having kids who need to bring toys and jackets and shoes because the last pair didn't come out of the car and now it's raining, so you need shoes to go back into the car. You know, it's a full-on cycle here and it can take literally a few days and it's just like a disaster again. So I'm trying to get the kids to be good because look at this. This is their spot. Like, this is bad. They need to be better at like taking their stuff out. So I am trying to get them to get in the habit of either bringing some garbage out or some toys out and like not eating as much snacks in the car because it is horrific. Like, this is a lot of marshmallow fluff, and if you listen to the original you will know the full story on that. I can't keep doing this. I hate it, right? We've got school drop-offs, so that means I open my car door, anyone can walk past and see how disgusting it is, and so I have to try and keep on regularly cleaning the car.
Your father's goodbye. Guess I didn't fit in that frame of your life, but I hope that you find all that love in your kids and your wife. Now you're playing with the big boys, finally got some big toys, making all your girls spoiled. Daddy's got it all solved. I was never your choice, but I hope you're happy. I hope you are happy. Now you're playing with the big boys, finally got some big toys,
okay? I love acting like a total weirdo. I don't know what happened. I was just like, look at my mess. I'm disgusting. Here's another spot. We are in my closet, and this is something I've put off for some time. I feel like I've decluttered it before, and then I was like, no, we just need to go full throttle and remove a lot, because I've definitely held on to a lot more than I've ever needed. I've fluctuated quite a bit in weight over the last 5 or 6 years, just, having multiple children, up and down mental health, that kind of thing. So, I always thought, oh, I'd love to fit back into these things. But when I go into my closet, I will show you how bad it is. I've just held on to way too much. A lot of stuff I just knew I wasn't going to wear. But we're working on my husband's side, which is just these boxes. You can get them pretty cheap from Kmart. I think they're like $4 or $5 for 2. And it just made the biggest difference with these open shelving system, because he used to just have the clothes sitting there, like pants and shorts in each shelf, and it would just constantly look messy even after I tidied it up. He gets one pair of pants and everything's sort of shuffled around and just doesn't look nice anymore. So the boxes have helped big time. And then of course, we now just shove our junk down the sides of the boxes because there's more space to shove stuff. So that's always a win-win for everyone, right? Anyway, I'm just preemptively going through these boxes for him and picking out things I know don't fit him anymore or he doesn't really like anymore, and just putting it aside for him to go through, because obviously he needs to go through it before I throw anything out. I don't want to leave him with like one pair of pants, and I found a packet of Skittles. Who knows why they're there? So he eventually did go through it, and I think 2 pairs went, maybe 3 pairs, and those boxing gloves. But we've moved on down to the craziness. This is both my husband and my clothing, and it probably really could do with a better organize than this, because it is a little bit overwhelming. We have like his uniforms and singlet, and there's some uniform pants and stuff in there that could probably be better hung up. Like they have, oh yeah, I'm so proud of my first one. I'm like, yay, I did it. I got rid of one thing. But yeah, so much of it could just be hung up better on hangers that actually suit the item of clothing, like the pants hangers or the hangers that have like multiple shirt spaces. But I just never go around to doing it. I look at them from time to time when I'm in like Big W or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then I don't. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not quite ready at that organizing level just yet. But we got through quite a few of my husband's shirts. There wasn't a lot that I could actually get rid of. I put them down on the bed for him, and I was joking because that jacket he just bought like maybe 2 months prior, and I was like, oh, should I see if he wants that decluttered? But I didn't end up joking with him about it because I was like, oh, he just does not need that stress. That's just like me being annoying. Anyway, we went through the rest of it. It was just like making sure we got rid of the double ups or anything that was too small, because he can end up with quite a lot of shirts and think he'll wear them, and then he doesn't. So anyway, we're moving on down to my stuff, which was, I thought, going to be the easiest thing ever. It took me a minute. Like I went through a few shirts before I actually got rid of something. And I was like, okay, we got to let go, Victoria. Like now is the chance. Like you're all talk and no action. So anyway, I did end up getting rid of a few things here. Also, like claiming back some hangers is like half the reason I started this, because every single time I went to put my clothing away, I'm like, why do I have 2 hangers available? But it's literally because I have so much other junk on there that I never wear. And each time I pulled out a shirt, I was like, what do I hate about this shirt? Especially if it's ones that I haven't worn. I'm like, why haven't I worn it? What is it? Like this shirt, I love it, but I find it just too clingy, and like you can always see lines underneath and it's just not cute. And then I got to this purple shirt and I was like, she's been back and forth between my wardrobe for some time now. She has a little stain on the front that I haven't managed to get out. But I love the color and I love the little cute girliness of it, but I don't wear it because of the stain. I did put it back in this video, but I think eventually I took her out because she's not there anymore. But actually, why can I still see her in my closet right now? I was sure I said in the other video that I got rid of it and I couldn't see it, but I can see it now. Anyway, that's annoying. She really needs to go and get out of here. And then I had this top that I thought was cute, but then I'm like, is it cute? Like, do I like it? I think it's from City Beach or something. And I'm like, it's not it. Like, if I don't love it, why am I keeping it? But this top is so cute. I absolutely love it. I got it for like $2 from Kmart, but I don't know. I never wear it. I think I'm self-conscious about my top half, like my shoulders and stuff. I never wear any square cut like tops or dresses or anything because I feel like it makes me look like a box. I don't know why. Even in my teeny tiny little skinny phase, I never wore anything like that. Could just be my own self-image. But yeah, I don't tend to wear them. Anyway, I got through a few of my cream colored tops. Sometimes I feel like I look like a nudist in them, but that top stayed because she is so cute. I think it was called something in Lucy. I can't remember the first part of it, but it's such a cute little crop top. Anyway, I then went through it basically one more time, but I found a heap of my husband's stuff right at the end, and I got a few more things of that out. And then we moved on to this pile, which as you can see was dusty as heck. And I was like, why am I holding on to this stuff? This is the stuff that I knew was time to go, time to give me back the hangers that I need. I haven't even worn that top, as I said, still had tags on it. And then like we got to stuff like this where I've had it since I went to America, which is probably over 10 years now. And I just didn't need it. And every time I thought about these shirts, I'm like, if I ever get to the point where I can fit this stuff again, I'm not going to pull out these dusty, crusty little shirt that I've held on to for so long. Like, I'm going to enjoy my newfound life, my weight loss, and get some new stuff for myself. But maybe I was trying to make some kind of time capsule because a lot of this stuff I'm like, what the heck were you thinking? Or a lot of it I wore when I was like dating my now husband, or you know, that kind of thing. Like, this top is so cute. Don't wear it. Same with basically the rest of them in my hand. It's kind of embarrassing how long I have held on to all of these t-shirts. I don't know what I was thinking in keeping them this long. They were my go-tos. Like this one, I was like, oh, do I part with this? Because I don't think I had worn it since I bought it, but it was so cute. Again, with this cute little top. But I'm not really a singlet girl. But why do I keep thinking I'm gonna be a singlet girl? Who knows? But yeah, that was a hard one to give up because I have loved that piece for a very long time. And as you can see, I was kind of sad to let her go. But it is time to make way for some new favorites because I know as my thick girl era, I have a lot of t-shirts that I still love and jackets. But it is quite nice to have the space back again because we have a lot of jackets. We do. And they're thick jackets, which we wear for like maybe 2 months solid out of an entire year. But they're a necessity, okay? We're Sydney siders here. We can't handle any kind of cold. So it is nice to be able to put the jackets on that side now. Especially since I cleaned it up a few years ago and organized it. We just keep our like pillow basket down the bottom there, and now I'm just going through even more stuff that I've held on to. It's basically from the same time period, but you know, there were some things that were hard to let go of, like that witchery top. I think I only wore 3 times. This one I was daring enough to try and put on to see how much weight I'd actually put on. Scary, okay? It was terrifying. I was like, oh my god, it's like trying to stuff sausage into a casing. And then I went to look at it in the mirror and I was like, no, she needs to go. I don't ever want to see that top. You've offended me, okay? But then I started doing a little victory dance because I was like, yes, we are getting rid of hello giant airplane. Anyway, that distracted me. But do you remember these little like puffer vests that was so 2017 2018? Yeah, I loved that thing. I was like, yes, equestrian, we are horse rider, we are everything. But look at me, I was debating whether I should let it go, but then I'm like, ugh, she's so dusty, just get rid of it. It's crazy how quickly fashion changes, because I remember I had that vest, and a friend of mine is somewhat of a friend, I don't really see them that often, but she also would wear something similar like that, but she would go through fashion really quickly. Like, she was always on the trends, like the cold shoulder shirts, the neoprene bags. What else was big then? Oh, the Duggar family skirts, the denim skirts. I never got on trend with that because the skirts always reminded me of the Duggars. If you ever watch that show, you'll understand. And I was like, I don't know why, like, you all look like you're in a cult. But yeah, I could never get on board with those long denim skirts. But she was always on the trends, and I was like, oh, I don't know where she can afford. Maybe she went to Kmart, because I know Kmart was always on that. But yeah, like, I was like, wow, how do you first of all, stay on trend, and second of all, have the money to do that, because I felt like those years were just like constant fashion changes. But honestly, admirable. But my clothes, my fashion as of late have been pretty much the same exact things, just, you know, a simple t-shirt and just either a pair of shorts and a pair of jeans, maybe. That kind of thing. Switch them out occasionally for a skirt, but you know, kids and skirts just don't mix very well. So they don't happen very often. But one day I'll revamp it, get some cuter stuff, maybe some more elegant stuff. But you know, with kids, it's just not worth the possibility of it getting absolutely trashed. I love this coat, by the way. I couldn't let go of it. I was like, is it still in fashion? Is it not? But it is so cute. But I was so proud that there was hardly anything left. Oh, this was so cute. I don't think I got rid of this. Tell me, oh, thank Lord I did not get rid of that, okay? That was so cute. I think I have a photo of me in it from when we first moved into our first house together, and I think I was wearing that in the photo. So that's probably why I can't part with it. I then just decided to tidy up the top. Most of it is just like random little bits and pieces that we need maybe once or twice a year, but we can't like let go of them, if that makes sense. So I was like, doesn't matter. I'll just like have a quick squiz, and there was nothing I could get rid of, which I kind of knew anyway. So then I put everything back and I just moved on to doing my other set of drawers, which is like a whole situation, a whole debacle, whatever you call it. Because why do I have like a set of clothes in here in my kitchen? It's annoying. I have to work on it. But I think I've come up with an idea, and maybe we'll do it together in a video. But I was like, I can't close these drawers anymore. It is just overflowing. I need to get rid of things and just like let go of them. Like, who am I kidding in thinking that I'm gonna go for this stuff? So I'm just like, it's gone. Anyway, I may have already filled the drawers back up again. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just went through a phase where I was like, I need more long pants, or I need more of this, and I did find other things that I could fit in there as well. So it's kind of nice to have everything in one spot again, because it was getting a little wild. Everything was everywhere and I was getting too frustrated with it. So a good portion of the declutter is from these drawers alone. It was like maybe 3 bags just from this stuff. So that kind of made me feel better. As you can see, there is a few things that have tags. It is my weakness. I've had these things for many years and have not worn it, but I'm like, oh, one day I will. But I think because I see the tag still on it, I'm like, oh, that's worse than having at least just worn it once or twice.
I wanna be a weekend lover. Yeah, I'ma be the best damn lover you got. I wanna mess up your covers. I don't wanna meet your mother. Never ever ask me how I've been. Remember why you have my number. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. I ain't got no time for romance, but baby, I don't want to lead you on. Not looking for something steady, not ready for that. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. Make a move. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark.
Hello, in today's video we are tackling my linen closet declutter, and as you can see, I'm not too impressed with how it is. The state of it is horrific. I think I just put a lot of things in there and move on. Try to forget that it's overflowing and disorganized. But today we're going to tackle that head on, because I just can't do this anymore. So I started by taking out all of the storage that we had, which is basically just a whole heap of Target stuff. I did love their designs like 4 or 5 years ago. They had really good style. They've since merged with Kmart and everything's just gone down the toilet, okay? Let's be real, it's just not the same. So anyway, I don't know if you would find as nice the stuff there as you would a few years ago, but this is just what I'm working with. this used to hold all the documents and random stuff. So one was basically leftover supplies, cleaning stuff, whatever. I often find like a spare toilet roll in there. I'm like, oh, I could have used this like 2 weeks ago when we were down to like half a roll, but I always forget about it. Oh yeah, I was so proud of my $1,000 fridge. Don't know if that would ever happen again now. And then the second one was, yeah, just things I hadn't put away and was like, I'm going to get to this, and then never did. And I was like, no, today's the day. We're going to get rid of everything. We're going to actually use my linen closet for, guess what? Yeah, linen. So I rearranged all of these. I like to keep my sheet sets in pillowcases, and that way I know that I have the whole set in there. And if they're not in there and it's a floating random flat sheet, I don't know, hon. I can't tell you. Sometimes it just happens that I end up with an extra thing. I'm like, everything's paired up. How did this happen? It's like the mystery laundry sock. Anyway, you might notice from time to time you'll see like those silicone packets. I decided to keep them in here because I feel like things get very damp where we live. I mean, we're in Australia, so the moisture is constantly above 40 to 50% like throughout the entire year. So I keep them in just because I don't want things going moldy, and I feel like if I keep them there, I'm covering my bases, right? So if I ever see like a big one, you'll see on this shelf, I think there's a big one floating around because she's a mama jamma, and oh, it's not this shelf. Okay, well, I've been righted or wronged. It's on the next shelf. So yeah, I feel like it does a great job. Anyway, as you can see, this is where I like to store all my extra green bags, environmental bags, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, it's a little bit chaotic. It's not organized in the slightest. Still isn't. If you wanted a live update, it is still shoved behind whatever I can. I don't know how to store them. I've put them in drawers before and they've just gotten caught up in like the other drawers, and it's just become a bit of a mess. But if you have any suggestions, let me know. I used to hang them over a hook in our previous home, but I just don't have that kind of space here, nor do I want to look at it. So yeah, I'm pretty much out of ideas. This is some random stuff that my mum has given me, kind of like heirloom stuff, I guess, except I'd never seen any of this stuff in my life, and she kept telling me the plates, the cups, that kind of thing were all mine. The vocal fry on that is giving the journey is usually a part you remember anyway. That's just for the kids who are in the loop. This is my storage box, which I use for just our bedding, like the king size bedding. So any of the mattress protectors, any of the quilt covers, that kind of thing all stays in there so that I know it's just ours and how much we have of it. And then I use the last two baskets just to store the towels, although I didn't have that many in this shot because I think most of them needed to be washed, which is pretty much the story of my life. But we are down here working on the wine cellar, in air quotes, because I don't know how this happened. My husband's ended up with so much wine, and we're not particularly big wine drinkers. I don't drink wine at all. He rarely drinks it, but yet here we are with enough wine to stock a BWS. I decided that this just could not stay in here. First of all, we don't go to it enough, like ever, so why taking up like the most valuable real estate in my linen closet? And I moved them all out to the garage. And then I just put all the baskets back to see what kind of space I was working with and whether I had enough space to put like the little things from before back in. There's a lot of space down here, and I'm thinking I'm gonna move my quilt covers and like bed mattress protector things down the bottom, since we don't go for it just as much as we do shower mats. So I think that'll go up here, up the top here. I'll clear out this stuff out the back, and then the extra blankets and stuff up here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I had no space before. Put a few of these baskets back just to see kind of what I was working with and to remove some of the tags, which is just about to see because I'm the worst at removing the tags. But I had this moving bag from Bunnings, I think it was like $4 or $5, and all these leftover blankets and like linens that we just didn't use, and they've been floating around the top of that cupboard for some time, and I just needed to like have a designated area because what's the point in washing them if they're going to be there and get dusty and dirty? So I removed all the things out of the back, and I was able to actually put the sheets up the top here. It did take up quite a lot of space. I've since changed it, which you'll see in a following video, because I was like, she's consuming a whole shelf for no reason, and it's hardly any blankets. And then of course my beloved juicer right next to it. we are completely finished with this space. Sorry, I got a shaky hand at the moment. But yes, I would love to paint this door. And I might do it at some point because I just feel like this is not a vibe. It's brown, she's not cute, and it's not hard to do. This is what we're working with. So layer 1, as you probably remember, was just those big boxes. Still got a few like leftover things over here, so just bear with me because I'm gonna figure out what I'm doing with that. But these are the boxes I'm getting rid of and all the stuff inside it. It's honestly made the biggest difference. It's like all this stuff in here I didn't even touch, so I don't know why it was taking up prime real estate. We're reserving this stop space for blankets and my bebe, the juicer. She is my pride and joy, okay? I feel like it's a much better use of space. Down here should be all the towels. This should be stacked to the top, like with so many towels, but they are all in my living room and I just have to put a bunch of stuff away. I've just been trying to finish this video and keep like the rest of my house clean, so the washing has just been washed, dried, but not put away yet. Then down here is just my all my bedding. Like I said before, I feel like I said in a previous video that I've been trying to get all my bedding the same brand and the exact same style just for now. Like, who's to say that there won't be a change in the future where I want checker or I want stripes or something like that. For now, darling, all the white stuff can be the exact same style, just for ease of like putting them all together and having them look nice. So that was obviously a slow process. We've been doing it for like over a year, 2 years maybe, trying to switch them over. Anyway, it's just truly to make my life easier because I don't want to be like, is this one or this one or this one? I think you get it. I honestly think you know what I'm getting at. Like, you need an explanation. Anyway, down here, this is just usually my shower mats. So anything that we use for the shower or the bath or whatever, they go there. This is my lost sock basket, except it's not lost socks, it's called the lazy sock basket. So if I can't find a sock or any socks for anyone, it's probably in there because I just haven't put them away. So that's what that is. And then down here is our big boy basket, and she is just chock-a-block full of mattress protectors, and then it'll be like our quilts and stuff. And you all these baskets here, 1, 2, 3, all thrifted, and these ones were from Target, as you can see. I still have the tags on. I'm too lazy. Down here we just have like the cleaning cloths, tablecloths, what else, napkins, whatever, they all go in there. And so I just feel like this is such a better use of the space. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of how it turned out because it does have a mix of like op shop thrifted baskets and some store-bought baskets, and it seems to have worked out pretty well for us. The baskets from Target were like $25 each, and the baskets from Vinnie's or whatever were like $8 each. So I mean, you pick your poison, darling. That's worked for me. I have added some of my usual junk in the back. It's been months since I did this, so you know, old habit. But yeah, we're about done with this and we're moving on to my garage, which she's filthy. I don't know what it is about my garage. Okay, everything else is like somewhat messy and like I keep on top of it, but I just sort of save a little bit for you guys. The garage, she is a world of her own, okay? It's a disaster. I think it's mostly just because we have way too much stuff. Even after I've decluttered, and honestly, I thought I was ruthless. I'm still like, how do we have so much junk? And I thought I was really organized this time around. And yet, it's not bad. There's a little tidy, but I just need to go in and just really up the organization. Add some more hooks to the walls. Add some more things because we got new tools and whatnot. But Guess where they live? You're right, on the floor. The thing is, I am more than capable of putting the hooks in the wall myself, okay? Just like a little hole in the wall and then that's it. Oh, by the way, this is the organization that I had to go with. It was just some buckets on the floor, but my husband was being annoying the whole time and making wildly inappropriate comments, so I had to pretty much cut out the entire thing. So that was fantastic for me. But you may notice that we have a ton of Christmas stuff. I feel like Christmas stuff is my jam. I love it. It's the one time of year where I feel like I go all out with the decorating. Just gotta look like Santa's thrown up all over my house. Otherwise, I know I've failed. Anyway, as you can see, this is sort of like my husband's cooking area. So whatever we find here is a mystery to you and me. I would love to revamp it for him at some point, but it's just like not high on the priority list. We can work with how it is at the moment. Something we can't work with is this gigantic pile, okay? It was full of baby items. As you can see, it's full of Christmas items, just full of everything. This is the, oh, I don't know where it goes pile. And then, you know, it gets taller and taller. And it just starts out with like one or two things. And then, yeah, it's almost taller than me. Anyway, we just continued removing every single thing we owned because sometimes that's the easiest way to do something. And sometimes I will use the method where I go section by section. But for this, I was like, no, that's not going to work. I feel like it's already going to fall in on me. So yeah, we took everything out. And then that was my little dirt pile. I was shocked by it from like literally just one corner. In this shot, you can see how much shelving storage we have, which is such a blessing because in our previous home, we had absolutely none. And let me tell you, it makes the biggest difference getting things up off the floor because if it was all down on the ground, there would be no chance. I have no idea how I would store everything. It would just all end up all over the floor. I mean, not that it isn't already, but you know what I mean. Like even with all my tubs and stuff like that, I wouldn't be able to get to the tubs because they'd most likely be stacked on top of each other. And there's no way I'm going to take out all the tubs.
I was at the wrong place at the right time, 'cause suddenly there you were with those bright blue eyes. We were conversing under the night sky when you took my hand, said let's leave now. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder, love a little louder, love a little louder. We went to a small bar with neon lights, talked about everything that was on our minds. Talking to you gave me butterflies. Then you took my hand, said let's leave now. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder, love
update 3. There is so much stuff out on my driveway. I just brought in a few of the bigger things that I didn't want sitting out there. But the rest is just like the small stuff that I've got to put away up on here. It's looking good. I feel like this might be the first year that it actually looks pristine. Well, not pristine, because like in my head I'd love all this organized. Play Tetris with these. We're going to play Tetris with these tubs down here, because I've got to work out which ones I want to be able to get to the most. Because one is beekeeping, which is my husband's. This is the kids' clothes, which I don't need to get into end of this year. So maybe that could go with the Christmas tub. This one is just the party stuff, so that's sort of got to stay up the top-ish, because it has other things like Halloween and Easter in there as well. This last one is home decor, which I have another home decor up there, and I don't know what's in that one. I actually don't know what's in that one. So ideally, I'd like to keep somehow the home decor together. This is the one that we need to focus on the most, because I'm not sure where I want to put these. I think I'm going to keep them on this side. I think that's the only thing that makes sense, because it's literally just going to be like 2 big stacks of boxes here. We used to have that desk, but we got rid of it. We gave it to someone. Yeah, so I think that would make the most sense to keep them under here, because you can't really walk. I mean, I can just because I'm tiny, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not like a walking path versus over here or whatever. So I think we'll just stack them up neatly here. After that entire little ramble, we're gonna play Tetris with these. Ideally, I would love to have another set of shelves under these wooden ones, and I have had a look at them at Bunnings. They're not too expensive. For the size that we would need for this space, we're looking at $140 to $150, which is not too bad, but I just don't want to spend the money on that. Plus, I know there's some council pickups happening soon, and surely someone's got some kind of shelving system they just want to get rid of. Otherwise, I'm going to ask hubby to make some. I've seen those ones on TikTok, maybe Instagram even, where the husband makes like a rolling shelving system and you can just put the tubs in there. I might actually ask him. He's really into that now that he bought himself a circular saw. So that would be really good, because it is becoming quite a pain to reach the stuff at the bottom. Now that we've lived with my reorganization for some time, I know that it's quite frustrating to try and get something that's in the bottom tub. So at some point I'll ask him to make it, maybe when he's on his next holidays, and then that would make my life a lot easier. Can you hear all that? That's the landscapers next door. They are having fun out there. But I just did what I could with this space. So the tubs are all to fit the shelving size, because it seems like a monstrosity to try and like rearrange the shelves. Anyway, I came back after some time, like maybe a month or so later, to finish off the last of it. I just kind of lost my motivation. I had some things that happened in our house and I was just like, I don't want to do this right now. I'm not capable of it. But when I finally got my mojo back, as you can see, it's a lot colder, hence all the warmer clothes. But I just had this annoying corner again to work on. It was just the tubs that I hadn't quite gotten through exactly like I would like it before I put them back. So I knew I had to make more mess. I'm so sorry. They're so annoying with that gravel. I knew I had to kind of pull everything out and just make a heap of mess before it would get any better. So I think that's also part of the reason that I was just putting it off for so long. But this is my kids' thrifted clothes for like the next sizes, sometimes like 2-3 sizes up, depending on what it is. If it's really cute, like I'll save it for a few years. But this tub has been overflowing for some time, and I knew that to fix this up I would have to take everything out, and then to do that I have to pull it all out and label the bags and then work out which sizes is which, and it was just an ordeal, and I knew that I was just putting it off. And as well, the kids' sizes are getting bigger, so they don't just fit in the Ziplocs like they used to when they were like teeny tiny. So, oh yeah, that's my favorite garden tool, by the way. It's like the best purchase I've ever made. It's just like electric pruners, and it just, it takes all the effort out of it, especially when it's something that's like really big and difficult to deal with. So if you like gardening, I suggest that. And then that tub down there is just full of my husband's beekeeping stuff. It's all that I could think to do with it. Anyway, once I had finished arranging all of the stuff behind me, I then turned to this side, which was where I knew I was going to stack all the tubs. But before I could even do that, it all had to go back to the other side, which is why it just felt like a little game. I was just going round and round in circles, moving my mess from one spot to the other. But I knew I was getting somewhere, right? Once the tub started going up, I knew, okay, I'm starting to see some floor again on this side. I'm making my way through all this junk because it can feel overwhelming, especially when it's just like, I've done this again and again and again. And why does it not look any better? Anyway, this is my Christmas tree section. I completely forgot about actually buying Christmas tree bags. So I'm going to try and remember this year when they have them in stock, because these boxes are falling apart. Like, they're on their last leg and I have 2 of them, so I need to work hard to like store them, and like no amount of sticky tape is going to hold these things together for another year. But I think for the first time in my whole life, I'm not actually that interested to put my Christmas trees up this year, because I think they spent far too long up last year and I was just so annoyed that I just don't want to see them again. At least we've got a few more months before I put it up. Well, I normally do it in November actually. I mean, you know, I am married to a Filipino, so if he had his way, the tree would be up in September for sure. What you're saying, Victoria, this isn't your finest work. And I agree, it's probably B minus at best. But honestly, there's only so much perfection one can have. And anyway, it sucked. I gave up. There's that big pile still. I still haven't dealt with it. I don't know what to do. Like, do I just give all that away? I don't know. I'm lost at the moment. But I just couldn't bring myself to do all the little nitty gritty stuff. So we may be back at where we started in a few months, but honestly, that's my fault. That is my fault. Yeah, but you see all that stuff on the bottom on the right, like, what do I do with it? Where does it go? Anyway, so, but I'm really just glad that we got most of it up off the floor, except for that beekeeping stuff there, that will stay there until spring, basically, and then once spring is in, it's gone. Trust me, he will get rid of it for me. And that's the final overview. We have arrived at the office declutter. It's a bit of a mishmash of different declutters because there was a few spaces I needed to do and not all of them added up to being enough for their own video. So I started straight with my husband's drawers because they're so chaotic. They have just been full of all these different electronic stuff that we just kind of avoid and just throw in here and say we'll deal with later, and then we never do. So I mean, that's pretty much the story of my life, right? So we're going to completely revamp this area, because I had just bought that one desk organizer, and you know what? It doesn't even fit the thing, so it slides around and it annoys me. I decided I'd spend some time actually organizing it. In my ideal world, I would have all the things that we actually need in there, like pens, pencils, you know, like whatever these are used for, I would have that in there. But right now we have 2 little kids that love to go through and take whatever they want to use. So now is not the time for that. I have actually since found a proper desk organizer for this. I saw one at, maybe it was Salvo or something ages ago, and I was like, oh, this might work for my hallway table. It didn't, because it was too big by like a smidge, and I thought about cutting it, and then I was like, oh, it might fit in the IKEA desk. And guess what? It was specifically designed for the Alex drawers, and I was like, well, this is a blessing because I can actually put it up the top and use it. Anyway, I found these hard case things. I'm sure you can get them from Temu or Shein. They literally look like something from there. But this one is from Kmart because I love paying more for stuff. And they have quite a wide variety of them, like different sizes, different colors, whatever. But I just went with this to store all the extra cords because I just didn't know what to do. We have so many. And I was like, whatever, it can all just go in that case and forget about it. It was a 2-pack for like $10. And I don't think I've used the other one yet. I'm still trying to decide what to use it for. I just need to find something to store. So I had either that or using one of those like fish tackling boxes. You know, the ones that everyone was using to put like snacks and stuff in for like a hot minute? Yeah, I had planned to use that, but I like those hardcover ones more anyway. So this was my design for my arch thing. I really love the arch decor piece. I don't know what you call it, shelf that I have in my dining room. I've never had the chance to properly style it, and so that was my design, but this is just to remind myself what I wanted it to look like. Anyway, I am the main culprit for this drawer. I will take 100% responsibility because things are wild in there. I found a lot of stuff that I haven't touched since probably like 2020, 2021, who knows, and a lot of it just doesn't resonate with me anymore, like my cleaning chart and a thing you're about to see, which is like the chart that I made for my husband. I even laminated it. Like, yes, get the vision, okay? I made it just so that he would kind of understand where I was going with it, because I was doing a whole living room refresh, and he's just not a visual person. Oh, this is the Montessori book that I never ended up finishing because I was like, I know all this anyway. It was like kind of a waste of time. But yeah, he's not a visual person. So when I was like, okay, we're gonna redo this entire thing, this is what I want, he's like, I don't know, I don't see it. And I'm like, okay. And I made him a little paper and I was like, okay, do you get it now? Like, do you see where we're going with it? Bit of a lighter, updated refresh, less gray, less dark. And you know what? I think I did pretty well overall for that, except my biggest faux pas was probably the rectangle table. I don't know why I thought a rectangle table would work well in there. Anyway, when we do change it, which is not right now because like the kids have trashed this one, and that's fine. Like, I totally understand it. It's not their fault at all. Yeah, but when we do change it, it'll be round. Who was I kidding? Like, nothing better than taking myself out on the corner of that rectangle table. Anyway, we've cleared out the bottom drawers. I kind of gave up down here because it's just stuff I don't know what to do with, and just like, how do I organize something like that? Maybe I need more of those stinking clear containers. Anyway, you had to stay back a little bit for this particular section just because there was a bit more personal stuff there. But it was just more and more of my husband's like uni work, anything like that. So I did ask him whether he needed any of these papers, and he didn't, which is good because I was in the mood to like absolutely just get rid of everything. I was like, okay, let's get all of these shredded and out of my life because I never want to see them again. Anyway, I was going to ask him to take it to work for me and get them shredded, but I just kept forgetting to actually like put it with his keys so that he would remember to take it. Mind you, I completely forgot about the giant incinerator that we have in our living room. So I ended up just putting it in there one day when we had the fire going. So welcome to what is the hallway table where we dump everything. This is actually where I was going to put drawer organizer, but it was just that little bit too big. Anyway, still on the hunt for something that would work for this because as you can see clearly, it's not going so great for us. Yeah, it ends up like this so quick. Like, no one keeps it organized, and I don't expect them to, right? This is where we dump everything. This is like the junk drawer, the second junk drawer. And yeah, I'm out of ideas, I'm out of options. I don't know how to organize something like this, especially with such a mishmash of junk. Although someone who does know how to organize this kind of stuff is Nikki from At Home with Nikki. I have followed her for such a long time. Can you hear who's back? If the landscapers could make just a little bit more noise with that gravel, that would be amazing. Anyway, At Home with Nikki has her life together. I'm pretty sure she's like a professional organizer. She has to be. She's amazing with what she does. But like for something like this, she would have everything in like little bags by categories, and the bags would be labeled and it would be, I mean, pristine. She would die seeing this. So as I said, this is a little bit of a mix of everything, and I was working on this declutter, which is basically just an amalgamation of all the other declutters where I just dumped everything I didn't want to deal with at the time, and it had sat there for maybe 2 months, like from the start of the declutter till when I actually cleaned it up in this video. I was so over it. I was so annoyed. I didn't want to see it anymore. I hated that half my hallway was taken up by this thing, and so I was so glad to work on it. I'm like, see you later. Our time together is finished. And honestly, it made the biggest difference. Even my husband made a little comment how much nicer it was that all the stuff was gone. Well, we truly have saved the best for last, and welcome to my kitchen. This is going to be the arc de triomphe, the pièce de résistance, the creme de la creme of all kitchen declutter videos, okay? She is nasty, so I'm giving you your one and only warning. As we jump straight into the messiest place in my kitchen, would have to be by far the award-winning drawer, the junk drawer. Not only is it the drawer, it is also the knife block, it is also the medication cupboard, it is also anything else that we don't want to deal with. And unfortunately, this has gotten pretty horrific. I mentioned in the original video that I was trying to keep those to recycle the blister packs, and then my husband accidentally threw them out, so I wasted my entire time doing that. But I just, when it comes to the junk drawer, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to organize it. It's things that we use regularly, obviously, because it would be in there, but like also how often do we go into this drawer for all the random pieces that we don't use. So that was my biggest goal with this, was just to get the stuff that does not belong in there and actually take the time and the effort to do it, because I often get easily overwhelmed with something like this, especially when it's like a lot of little things that have to go into so many different homes. So I think I just piled them into like little groupings and was like, okay, if I'm gonna make a trip, I don't want to make like 5 trips to the same spot. Like, let's also get anything else that belongs there at the same time. So I decided just to remove as much as possible and actually put it in their proper places. But there were things that just we need daily, like Panadol and Nurofen. We have a lot of headaches all the time, and so we need them constantly. And then I just wanted to redo the knife block. As you can see, they don't quite fit the knife wooden block thing, but it's better than them floating around like they were before. Okay, that was just like a crime scene waiting to happen. I will say that with this drawer, it has actually remained quite neat and tidy. I was in there not too long ago. I was like, actually, this has worked out quite well for us. Although my husband did ask about his, I've already forgotten. What is it called? Takoyaki? Hibachi? I can never remember it. Anyway, he did ask about that randomly, and I was like, I already threw one out. But luckily, he didn't need both of them. I was like, we don't need it. Like, you use it maybe once, maybe twice a year, so like let's let go of it. Also, I knew it was the one that he wouldn't reach for. I didn't just throw out any of them willy-nilly. We don't play those kind of games around here. Anyway, most of these drawers just really needed a reorganization. I don't think I actually got rid of a whole lot here because we do use most of this, and then if I did declutter a lot of them, because that is a lot of pots, but there is times when we need a lot of pots and we're cooking a lot of things. So I was like, it's just not worth getting rid of them to have less, if that makes sense. Sometimes, even though the whole minimalistic thing is really great, having like 3 pots, so I have to wash them, sometimes it just doesn't work that way. My husband and I both like to eat different things, so we sometimes cook different things. The kids want something else, they get used quickly. And of course, when they sit on my bench for so long, and I call it soaking the pots, you know what I mean. That just means I've gone on strike and don't want to deal with it. Oh my, I did forget how bad this drawer was. It is horrible. It is trying to be too many things at once, I think. It's got some seasonings, it's got popcorn, it's got all my Play-Doh equipment, it's got everything, and it was just diabolical. I couldn't handle it anymore. I do eventually have a little mishap with, I think I want to say it was paprika, could be turmeric, could be yellow food dye. You'll see it any minute, and yeah, it was really difficult. It ended up all over the floor of the drawer. Anyway, I am a bit of a sauce hoarder and like a disposable cutlery kind of situation. They're all wooden cutlery now because they changed the laws here, so it can't be plastic. And oh, if I hear that New South Wales is doing what South Australia said and taking away my little soy sauce fish, up in arms, pitchforks lit, darling, because I won't be happy. Don't take my little soy sauce fish, even though I don't use it. Clearly it was in the drawer, but yeah. Anyway, I just realized that all of that had to go because, I mean, mostly out of date, and second of all, we just don't use it. I thought we would use it and then we never did, but I did keep the cutlery. It is nice just in case. I don't know. Like I said earlier, you can't make too much progress at once, okay? You gotta give some room to grow. Okay, look at the color of that turmeric. You cannot tell me she's not a suspect in what happened up in the top drawer. Anyway, this is my beautiful IKEA system for spices. I definitely got this idea from At Home with Nikki, and I love it. It is angled sideways mostly because I didn't measure those actual spice rack holders, and yeah, they didn't fit the other way. But I call it a plus because now the spices face the way that you're cooking, so instead of having to turn the other way, you know what I mean? Like the ultimate lazy. Oh, by the way, that smudge is black strap molasses. Never again, darling. Never again. I accidentally bought it instead of proper molasses. It's very annoying. Just kind of smeared everywhere and just made herself known. Anyway, I scored that wooden organizer and I love it. I know it's probably something I definitely didn't need, but I love it. I'm so glad. It was like $10 versus, I don't know, the 40 online. And this drawer is possibly gonna be one of my favorites. It depends because the iDesign canisters that you see on the left, the clear ones, they are my favorite thing to have ever graced the container community. Absolutely love them. They're perfect, but they've stopped selling them. Like everywhere that I was buying them, they're gone. And so it's annoying me because I can't finish off the drawer. I wanted to do the entire drawer in them and just, you know, perfect the look. So, but now I've got like 4 of them and I don't know what to do. And I'm finding it really hard to find any sellers online with this product. And so, I don't know, they want to charge $30 to $40 when I do find one that sells it. And I just don't want to pay that. Like I was paying like $10, maybe $15 for those little ones. Anyway, story of my life. I should have just bought them all at once, but I'm such a cheapskate that I was like doing it slowly, like every time I went to the shop. But yeah, very annoying.
We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. Don't know if I can decipher how your mind works. Yeah, you leave me wondering what it's like to feel your skin. I will keep on trying till you give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more. You leave me hanging, begging for more. Think that I'm addicted to this, can't resist to be a little risky and go for it, cause I want you close. I'm so exposed when you're keeping me wondering. You know I'd do anything to be in your arms again. So give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more, talking to you, and here we go again. Staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here? I wanna go all in. So give me a sign. Give me a sign. I just wanna let you know I could go for this, no more tricks. We could take things slow. Say you think about it too. When the lights go out and there's no doubt that I should be with, that I should be. We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. So give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, baby, just give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more talking to you and here we go again. Staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here? I wanna go all in. So give me a sign. Yeah, give me a sign. Yeah, give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Give me a sign. Just give me one more.
So you can see the final layout for these two cupboards, which has taken me quite some time to work out how I wanted it. And I feel like it looks nice. I mean, I kept staring at it the whole time, but it has taken me some time to work out what goes in there. And I had left the books over there and I just didn't like it. Like I still felt like it was too overcrowded, too unorganized. So I eventually removed them and it's probably the best decision I've ever made. And I know you're thinking, why do you keep books in your kitchen? I don't know. I have nowhere else to store them. And like, I don't know whether to get rid of them, to keep them. I might reread them. I'm just not in my reading phase anymore. I might eventually come back to reading. I just feel like I'm got a lot going on and I just don't have the time to read or the energy, honestly. I've been falling asleep at like 8:30 every single night this week and so I just don't even have time to edit. I just fall asleep and then I wake up at like 6. So it's a bit of a routine change for me. But this was also a sore spot in my kitchen. As you can see, it was just pretty much where we dumped everything and anything that I didn't want to deal with. It's like a junk drawer but cupboard version basically. So I really revamped that and I have to say, having lived with it for a little bit now, it is actually working fantastic for us. It was a great move to swap everything over. I now keep the Tupperware and lunchbox containers and anything sort of school related like the snacks, and it makes so much more sense there because I literally do make all the lunch stuff right there, which just means I get to be that little bit more lazy. And so that's what I ended up doing with the books just there. I know I'm bouncing around a bit, but this video is moving a lot quicker than the original one, but I feel like that cupboard looks just as good as the other ones. And I have been quite organized in keeping my Tupperware like this. I didn't at first, like I literally caught myself being lazy and like just throwing all the Tupperware in there and I was like, oh no, this is a habit that I have to change now. So I am really good at actually stacking the Tupperware correctly and it looks so much better. It really does. With this cupboard, I have had the luxury of having things spread out and kind of just have their own little spaces, and that is no longer. I did have to go through and get rid of quite a bit because my husband is now in his baking era, so that means more stuff has to go elsewhere and it just can't consume as much space as it was before. So I keep like my blender in here and the kids' extra lunch boxes, just like random little things that we still use. But my husband's cast iron pan, which is something that he uses for baking, has to go in there as well. So it's a little bit squashy now, but thankfully it's not really one we go to all that often. In summer it will be, and I'll probably have to like switch the baskets around and stuff for the ones that I do use. But also this cupboard was a monstrosity. It is the spice cupboard and the rice cooker cupboard. I just had to really go through and get rid of a lot of my husband's spices because he gets amnesia every time he goes to the shops and wants to cook something, and he comes home with more and more spices. So I said to him, look, we got to get rid of some. Like, this is overflowing. A lot of them are out of date, especially those clearance ones I've held on to for like 3 years. I don't even know if spices go bad after expiration dates, but I wasn't in the mood to hold on to them because I know hubby will bring in some more any minute. So we had to be ruthless, and ruthless she was. Take a look at that. That is quite a bit, and I'm pretty proud of myself. He said yes to them all going, by the way. So I was like, yes, get rid of them. I never want to see you again. Under my sink here, I really didn't have a lot to do, just needed to clean out. There wasn't a lot to declutter, except I did find some tools that we've been looking for so long, and I'm 100% sure I put it under here thinking that I would remember that it was there. Of course I never do. Like, it never sticks in my brain. So I think someone has just misplaced it the whole time, and literally it's just me. But at some point I would love to change under here to something more like that with the picture on the screen. It didn't last long, okay? It's been speed up sped up. I would eventually like it to look like that. It's a little easier to get to when they're stacked versus when I have to kind of reach to the back of my cupboard. But again, like I said earlier, it's just not something I need to go back and redo right now. But we are just about to move on to my cutlery drawers, which is looking pretty bad. I just quickly fixed up this corner cupboard. It does what it does, like it's not fantastic at all. We don't really use it to turn it around. It's sort of just more storage, which just seems like a waste for such a good like piece of turning equipment in a corner cupboard. If you've ever had a corner cupboard like my other one without the Lazy Susan, you'll know how frustrating it is. The things at the back of the corner cupboard are pretty much gone for good. When it comes to this drawer, I just kind of wanted to tidy it up. I don't have a great organizing system, and it might be because of this wooden bamboo organizer. I don't know what you call it. I tried to tidy it up, and I just feel like a lot of these pieces don't fit in something like this and should have their own space, but I don't really have the space to do that because the next drawer down is like the big items that don't fit in this drawer. I also definitely have way too many like spatulas, wooden spoons, like the pasta spoons, and tongs. Oh my gosh, but all my tongs seem broken, and so I don't want to get rid of them because, well, I don't have any tongs, so I should just buy some new ones. Anyway, I need to declutter some spatulas at some point. My husband bought like a nicer looking set, and then we had like our old ratty set that we've had for like 7 years, probably like leaching toxins into our food, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, so that's half the problem that's taking up that space. And then in this drawer, there's not much organizing it. It was just literally decluttering it and sorting it into piles. You guys, can you believe we finally got through this whole declutter series? It has been insane. I hope you've subscribed because we definitely have a lot more cleaning and decluttering to do in this house. There is always something. I spun around here and I was like, oh no, I'm too old to be playing games right now. No more spinning. But I did have 3 of those big bags. Probably. I've thrown most of them out because I couldn't handle it sitting on my floor in the kitchen for so long and not paying rent at all. Most of it's gone, but I needed this one just for a thumbnail because, you know. But your girl's been on it. I have donated a lot of it, the stuff that I could anyway. I don't know if you can hear that. The rains decided to join us for the very end. But I just wanted to say, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.